Everyone to League Zero Advanced Division Week 2 of Tokyo. It's Week 2, right? Yeah, Week 2. Tokyo Drifters vs Overcharged. I'm gonna be your color commentator tonight, Navina. What up? And I'm joined today by Mob Killer.
Hi.
So, I guess to start us off, let's talk about like what we think of these teams going forward. My initial thoughts are I know in the SMI and everything else, Tokyo Drifters had a lot of unknowns, but with a very experienced coaching staff and management staff from Arrow and everyone. So I know they had the ability to be good, but no one really knew because they were so unknown. Because the only known pieces they had were Rancher and Platt. And then Overcharged is like a bunch of veterans. Seb's really good, Corey's really good. Central, Zakatar, Romy, like all of them are known, and so they were really hyped up going forward. Both teams had close matches last week. Overcharged beating Vertigo. Yeah, beating Vertigo 3-2, which was a surprise because Vertigo was seen to be bad. And the TD also beat EpiPen or Epa whatever 3-2 as well. So hopefully Epasuku. So hopefully this is gonna be a good match.
Yeah, both winning the first match 3-2 even in the standings, so I think this could be a pretty close match. Go either way.
I would hope so. I think it's really gonna set the tone for how I think it will provide context for how good the other teams were, honestly. And I'm really excited to see what people run. I assume at this high SR, more of a traditional shadow dive, and yeah, I'm seeing that from Overcharged, and more of a traditional dive, of a pharmacy dive coming out from Tokyo Drifters. If this stays on, I really like Farah on this personally, because there's just so many angles you can spam in damage. There's not a lot of hard cover for the shadow dive to go, and we'll see how that works out though.
I'm excited to see the Reinhardt on the side of Overcharged. Interesting pick.
Take it away, Mob.
So it looks like we have both teams moving. Looks like Overcharge will be taking point with this Reinhardt comp. They're going to want to be pressured into this. Hack comes out onto the far. She's forced onto the ground. Apple falling super low in the beginning of the fight. It's taking a lot of space. That Zenyatta Mercy not providing the most pressure needed. Though Romy does get discorded, falls pretty low, backs up. Frozen getting the hacks off in the back line as Zakatar is discorded. Looks like Overcharge will just get first cap of the point without much contest. This Shadow Dive comp needs a good execute. Just got onto Romy, but he's still pretty healthy. And Coalescence comes early from Sue, and Apple and June fall super quick. And I think that's just going to be the fight going for Overcharge.
Honestly, I got kind of worried because Overcharge seemed kind of indecisive, and they got really good hack early, which prevented June to I'm just gonna call him Asa or something like that. I don't care. To spam down and get a lot of that damage. I mean, he almost has help, but he wasn't able to do the same type of damage. And then they played it correctly. They pushed the slower side and then had a really nice boop on Winston to bring him in, and then they just snowballed it from there.
Yeah. So this next fight is looking to start up. Once again, Overcharge is playing that slow style on the point. Apple dives onto the Reinhardt, but doesn't really get anything. Pulse one does come out essentially. He has the raid for him, though. Barrage from behind. The beat follows immediately, but Moira and Ryan do fall. So it looks like EMP comes out, though. He finds 5. Is it clutchable back? But no, Overcharge is going to be falling. A waste of an EMP.
I really don't like the EMP there. As soon as they went down the mech and the one person, I think that fight's kind of lost. The beat's okay because it's still kind of brought back. But by the time Frozen EMPs, there's 4 people dead. Really good job of just really setting up your fire to be able to do that damage and get a pick. Going forward, but now that we're getting to more ult fights, I think it's going to be much harder.
Doesn't start going out. Primal forced to be used because his bubble was expended. Hack onto the Primal, but he's able to jump over the wall, but the Primal's not going to get any value. A second Coalescence coming out of the Earth Shadow finds the Diva down long as Apple does end up falling. The Matrix falling so low. Self-destruct coming out. Romy, his shield's not available. The barrage pushes them into a small corridor. Only finds Romy, but that might be enough. Central killing off Ranchos. Pete finds both supports with the pulse bomb. Apple finishing the baby Diva. And just by the nick of their teeth, Tokyo Drifters are going to be wholly onto point.
Well, they really did a good job there. It was just separating, the Primal, the bomb, and everything. All served as ways to separate the Shadow Dive. Once the Shadow Dive gets separated, right? It's not even Shadow Dive because you're trying to but once they get separated, they're not as good, right?
Yeah, but those 5 ultimates, you're gonna want them back this fight.
100%, but they're about to come up on the train. Like, that's like the big thing for them. If they could just like trans the EMP, that should be fine.
Whelmy swinging in, EMP comes out, finds both tanks, but the Transcendence comes late, and it's fine. Central has the Death Blossom. He's gonna trying to find it with Defense Matrix down. The Defense Matrix is up, and he gets melted down by the Zenyatta with damage boost on the Mercy. Apple follows up on the Lucio, and Overcharged, though they're trying to cap the point, they're missing too. It's gonna be really hard to keep this up. Whelmy, his shield's falling low, Discord on him as he falls. Coalescence used. Questionable uses there as he immediately falls to Peep. Zaktar, the last lone diva on point, as 88% takes up. I don't know if there's going to be a contest.
The play from Rancer to like hide and know the EMP's coming. I think Frozen, you have to like kind of take that a little slower because you still have time. You should
Average finding no.
Fight.
Potato falling low, falling immediately with that sound barrier as Pseudo falls next to it, and the barrage is going to seal up around without supports. They have no chance. Tokyo Drift take round 1.
I think like the comp that Tokyo's playing is the longer the fight goes, the more value they're gonna get.
Yeah,
Overcharged
definitely
wants to take really quick engagements, really fast fights, and they just never were able to do that because they always Tokyo always found a way to like keep them separated and create value for like their frankly almost pick composition with the Tracer and Pharah, where like your tanks are just serving as like peel and as like a buffer while you try and just enable your Pharah and your Tracer to get kills.
Yeah.
We're gonna see probably a brawl mirror here. Yeah, mirror comps.
There's a big difference though.
I think this though will still favor Tokyo because they seem to have a better understanding of how to play tempo, change their tempo accordingly, while Overcharge just kind of has one speed.
Yeah, with the Zarya, they really gotta understand the tempo that's going into this against the Diva. That's the only difference in these compositions. Overcharge are just trying to find picks with their composition. As the Moira falls immediately, without all that healing, it's easy for the other team to just push straight in. Apple's still brawling onto the point, but with only his Lucio, he can't do it for much longer. Central finding Peep as well, that's 2 down. And the Reinhardt falling, that's just going to be an easy cap for Overcharged. Though, June does find 2 on the exit.
That's to me, the Diva difference. Because, if you have Diva, she can eat all, that spam damage that comes in and just randomly picks Rancher. But now, though, they have to back up because of the extra.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Coalescence coming up from Overcharge, very quick re-engage. They notice that 2 of them are down central, once again finding Rancher. That Zarya not proving as effective as they should be. Apple just getting pressured out. He's so low. Zarya bubble may not save him. Tires used by both sides. June finds 3 with his. The shadow was huge. June finding 4. But after that insane tire, there was nothing. There's no follow-up on that amazing shadow by Romy.
Again, they're playing a composition that gets more value over time, while with the Zarya, because once Zarya gets high energy, she can melt. And, Overcharged wants to win fast, because the Diva, right? The Diva gives you, that... Oh, man, I'm about to burp, sorry.
It looks like a pause is coming up.
Oh, yeah. That value, that damage mitigation for shorter periods of time, that make it much... better to take quicker engagements.
Yeah, as the longer the fight goes, the more the Diva gets out because of that Junkrat and even the Symmetra to some part. It's so much easier to just take that spam damage to the face rather than taking it through a defense matrix. The Zarya is all there for that damage, making the Reinhardt go super aggressive and beaming down squishies that if they want to play this Zarya, they have to play it fast, and honestly I haven't seen that so far.
I think I gotta switch because Tokyo's winning because they're playing it slower, allowing the Zarya to build energy, and then they use Asagen's picks, or I can't even say his name, bro, to just do damage and get past it because they're just spamming so much that the Diva can't eat it all. Because once the fight goes on and she's out of DM, they can't eat any of that damage.
Yeah, also bold prediction, but I think Zaktar is going to eat this grab. I have a feeling June finding the Symmetra, that's just going to take longer for this reset. Frozen actually switching off the Sim to go to the Reaper. Good counter to that. They know they're going to want to play this fast style, so it could be a good understanding of if we play this Reaper, we can pressure down the Reinhardt, burn those bubbles, and it looks like Tokyo is going to want to re-engage here. They're just stalling for time as they go around the wrap. The cutoff isn't there just in time. Romy finding the fire strike through Coalescence coming in. Ranter just trying to beam down. Shadow just blocks right into Romy's shield. The shield falls and the self-destruct gets thrown in and it finds 3. The charge back isn't there in time and that's going to be the fight.
Beautiful bomb by Zakatar because he identifies that they're pushing in. He has the beat that they can sustain. So if he throws it behind them, then his team can push and almost sandwich Tokyo between them and the bomb.
Coalescence just want to keep going forward on here. Might be a little bit of a mistake for Pseudo not be able to really follow up into their spawn. Average still has that grab for the re-engage. Zakatar needs to find this eat.
Bro, they definitely need to go chase that Junkrat, dude.
Yeah, they know he's somewhere, and the D.Va does find him. If he falls here, this could be the fight, just going straight, but he actually gets out. That might be a big mistake for D.Va. The Symmetric Barrier coming in as cover. The Tayo coming up from up top. The Shadow lands down, doesn't do anything, but Central finds 2 with the Tayo. 2 very important picks as the charge comes through, finds the Zarya, and that's another fight for Tokyo Drift. Overcharged. Overcharged.
I'm really concerned that like they haven't committed ultimates. Like I feel like if they commit the grab, I would have personally committed the grab on the initial rotation that Zakatar used the bomb on before, as they were doing it, and now they're just holding on to it for multiple fights, and you see Overcharge almost building back up their ultimates. Like Frozen's about to have a Blossom when he only switched to it like a fight and a half ago.
But the blessing is that they don't have anything. But Apple falls, there's so much of the cleave damage, there's no follow-up onto the 4K grab. And now without their main tank, this is looking very dire. Pete forced to teleport into the backline and touch the point. But without the race form, he's gonna get beamed down with D.Va, and he does. The tire doesn't find anything. June falling. And that's just going to be Overcharge taking it, 100-57.
Much better play from them. They played their win conditions really well. They played fast enough that the Zarya just never really got consistent value outside of the fight they won. And they just kept pushing and pushing their advantage. Like, even Sev committing the Cole is like, unironically, a zoning ult, right? I don't care if it was like, it made them so they couldn't push. Now, to me, even though Zakatar didn't kill the Junkrat, he put enough pressure on the Junk that he couldn't just tire in the back.
Yeah, I felt like it was less about Overcharge winning and more about Tokyo Drift. They're really holding on to those ultimates, trying to find like the 6K grab, and honestly, it led to their downfall.
100%.
What do you see here?
I like the Shadow here. I don't know if I like the Soldier pick. It all depends on, if you collapse in the Soldier, he's so vulnerable, but we will see what happens.
Yeah, I think they know they're running this Vine comp, so it's going to be hard to dive into the Soldier. Romy finding the fire strike, but not going to be enough. Apple just getting booped back. Heavy pressure from this Reaper. Pseudo falling super low on the Moira, just barely able to heal up. The Pharaoh's actually going behind. The hack could fall, and playing ground Pharaoh on the other side. Mercy getting a little bit isolated. Apple falling super low. Peep finding Pseudo. Apple falling in coalition. That's 1-for-1. Overcharge taking first cap. Average falling out of mech, but a huge anti onto both tanks. But Romy killing Baby D.Va and Potato getting a nice boop onto the Ana proves the fight to be ended.
I think that the Tokyo Drifter tanks are playing slow, but they almost just bit off a little more than they can chew because the Rhine just chunks you down and takes so much space, and then they just get picked because of it because the Reaper and Rhine can just melt both of you.
Yeah, I actually think the Tokyo Drifter tank line is playing a little bit too fast and brawly for a Shadow Dive. With the Sphera and Solju really looking to just burn down, but Coalescence coming out from the Brawl. The Barrage coming into the Shadow, knocking both tanks to the ground. Both main tanks down, but Peep falling in the Coalition. Beat coming out central, slept in the back. It's just Ana and D.Va alone in this corridor. Big anti-EMP invested solo onto the Ana. As the point gets flipped over to Tokyo, but I think they're going to be losing this fight. It's just the pharmacy. Platinum does fall. Apple just stalling out on the point. Not really anything to do. Building up probably around 13%.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Apple and Average have played a little too fast for the competition they're running because they're not running a Shadow Dive. They're running a more traditional pick comp dive kind of thing where you just want to enable your DPS to get those picks. And they're playing almost a little too far ahead of their team where if they try and brawl with the Reaper, they're just going to get burned. So that, if I'm the diva, like I need to pay attention to that Reaper almost at all times because you want to mitigate the damage as much as you can, and I'll just allow for your Pharah to kill him.
Yeah,
But also that pick on the Sev.
The Nano Visor coming out. Defense matrix being used. June finding a pseudo. Nano Visor just burning down and all targets. Forces the retreat. Apple and Romy Potato falling, and that's just going to be a quick fight for Tokyo.
Sev is building these calls so fast, honestly. And also, like that is the pick they need. They need a pick on either to a tank or a support. And really, like, any support will do because they don't have the speed, they can't engage on you. If they don't have the Moira, they can't sustain versus your high damage. So, like, that's what matters. And if they don't have a Ryan, they don't have a shield. If they don't have a DM, they don't have the Matrix to eat damage. Your targets right now are tanks and supports. And they got a huge pick onto Sev that fight, which allowed them to win it.
Yeah, this Pharah proving very useful on the re-engage for Overcharge. They are building back up to this EMP after it got used onto Yana. June is above on the barrage and he finds 3. The defense matrix is not going to be able to kill. And Zaktor falls out of the mech and off the map. Another quick fight for Tokyo Drift. But what is the downside?
They're about to have 6 ults, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good play. Like, yes, they bought time, but, like, what I love about Overcharge is they're not investing these ults, too early.
Yeah, they definitely recognize the win condition. They're on 86. They need 1 fight. And if it takes 6 ults, then it takes 6 ults.
That's all that matters is that 1 fight.
Yeah. So it's going to need a miracle pick from June here if they want to keep this one in. Apple playing the right side. Huge anti. The Lucio so low. The dive from Apple comes out, but the beat comes out just in time. Self-destruct used on both sides. June finding Pseudo as Zaktar finds Apple with it. The Reds coming out on the backside. The Average coming back into the fight. The point is flipped over to Overcharge. Peep's Romy's shield is falling slow. Peep with the visor, and it actually is able to find Romy. June getting so much down on the barrage. She's about to get another barrage. The Death Blossom coming up from Central finds Peep Apple knocking back onto Central. Winston killing Reaper. This big barrage coming out. Pseudo falling to it, and it looks like Tokyo Drifters is peeling ahead. The stall is out. Zaktar falling low. Lucio Saba on the point. Central switching over to the Tracer. Wrecking Ball on the back trying to find that a pick on the Ana, but they can't do anything. A point flips back over to Tokyo.
I think that like the bomb and the beat, like, just sectioned off Sev. Sev couldn't really get the space he needed to use Cole effectively, and then they just get caught out.
Yeah, the final fight coming up here, 99 to 99. Zaktar coming in. Samba falling so low, but able to translocate out. Lucio falling on point. Both divas brawling each other, but the Wrecking Ball trying to roll around. June finding another pick on Pseudo. It's been so big. The Primal from Apple into the backline, trying to find those supports. Peep knocking Zaktar out of mech, just a baby diva. Anna just healing up the team. Nano comes out onto the Tracer. June finding another onto Zaktar. Just no one's able to stop this Pharah. Rentar finding Central. Tokyo just pulling ahead. It's going to take a miracle play, and I think there are a lot of miracles. As Tokyo Drift take map 1.
The problem here, Tokyo Drifters look so much weaker. And I honestly think it's a tank difference, personally. Apple and Average do a much better job of playing slow and enabling their DPS, while in the Brawl, when it's more like, I think, tank centric, that they got kind of bullied.
Oh wow!
On Control Center.
June not really only finding 3, but also knocking out the tire.
Honestly, though, really, really good play from Tokyo on 2 of the 3 points. Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, Tokyo just played the map better. My biggest criticism of Overcharged is I felt like their Reaper wasn't getting, like, a lot done.
Yeah.
Not because I think Central's bad at Reaper, but because, like, I think he held on to Blossom for a long time on 3rd point. Like, I don't remember him really using it.
Yeah, it was Central. I think it was also a compositional thing. That Reaper against the comp that Tokyo was playing, he could really only shoot at the tanks, and the defense matrix was there. He held on to Blossom a little too hard. But also, I would like to point out Zaktar on the Diva. Looks like Pseudo was falling a lot to the Pharah from June. Like, it would normally be Pseudo in the back, June finds the pick, and the lack of heals just makes Tokyo Drifters going back in. Romy, it seems, from what I've seen, Romy does not like playing the Winstons. We haven't seen him. He ran Reinhardt, obviously in Control Center when it's most viable, but also onto Night Market and Gardens, where honestly you haven't seen a Reinhardt there in a very long time. Romy versus Apple, that was a big thing. Apple trying to play like a Reinhardt style on the Winston. Did not work very well round 1, but round 3 it was actually able to come back up, showing very big versatility inside of Tokyo Drifters to switch from that picky dive style to shadow dive into brawl, while Overcharged seemed to be a brawl one trick so far, and as the first map it doesn't work. But map 2 is going to be King's Row, such a good pick for Overcharge considering they've been favoring this Reinhardt style so much. Navina, what do you think King's Row could mean for this match?
I think King's Row does really favor Overcharge leaning on the Rhine more. I also think that first point specifically could actually be really good for Drifters' more slow Pharah style, where they just want to spam them out and use their different angles. I think I could definitely see them running Pharah on King's Row first.
Yeah, I think, but the downside of the Pharah, if it doesn't work, they're going to be at a big disadvantage going into Streets.
I don't know, like Streets can still work if they run the shadow dive where they don't have a long range hit scan to contest you. But yes, I think a suit like they probably play for ultimates and like it's a gamble, but sometimes like that gamble where it's good on that one place is still worth. It all depends on like, what your goal is as a comp.
A full hold, I'm not entirely. If a full hold is here, that can just put Tokyo Drifters going to the half 2-0, and that's a hard lead to come back from. Frozen hovering over the Widow, probably going for an early shot. And only what targets do you think Frozen's going to be looking for on this Widow?
I think Widow is just so versus Shadow Dive.
I think it's just for a few shots out of spawn.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets a pick, it's big. It just depends how quickly they engage upon it. But I'd also hopefully TD will kind of see that coming and not geek. Is I want to say?
No way, the staying on this tank composition.
Bro, I've seen some people run some weird crap.
I think they're gonna switch Zaktar over to the Zarya.
Oh,
Bubble there to protect the Widow, and then Zarya now.
No, it's
Diva. Diva probably better against the comp. Reaper, Samba on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna see the posture. I think, dude, they just need to push the squishy.
Ooh.
Like
yeah,
I don't like
pushing hard. Apple, the wrap on for the tanks wasn't very good, but Pete finding Frozen in the Samba 1v1 is big. Apple diving in and gets knocked back with a Lucio. I think that's just gonna be the first fight. Really simple.
I don't even know. Like, I think like they just didn't punish like the cooldown usage. Like as soon as they go to that high ground, you have like a whole 5 seconds before they can engage.
Oh, a hack onto Apple is locking around, but Coalescence just beaming him down. He's not able to reach the sand as he falls to the Reaper. Oh my gosh, what a fast Coalescence. Coalescence coming from the other side though. Peep, he's about to have that EMP. It's going to be big. B coming out the other side. EMP finds 6. That's all members of Overcharged hacked. And it's going to be... What a clutch from Peep and Ranter.
Wow. Just a faster EMP and faster beat that sustained them and allowed them to retake that point. But now, going to the next fight, like, they don't have a beat for EMP. They only have 2 ultimates. Because Apple's not even close to his, because he got burned super early in that first fight, in that second fight. In the first fight, he didn't really do much because he was off in no man's land.
Yeah. The Sweeper hiding in cafeteria. The EMP, it finds 3. The Shadow finds 4. It's self-destruct getting thrown and beat. Following up Central Zaktar Romy, all finding picks. And it's just going to be another quick fight, but this time going to the side of Overcharge.
I really like the quick engagement, like the decisiveness from Overcharge there. Because they knew that they had the win condition, and they knew that like Beat can sustain a bomb if you time correctly, and Corey timed it correctly. They were able to do that, and EMP Shadow is just so potent on King's Row because it's just all the straight sight lines, all like there's not a lot of cover. Like once you get into these streets.
Do you think that the Winston from Apple should be switched to Reinhardt or stick with the Winston style? I asked that for the fight audience dudes. Apple forced to jump back after the bubble is expended, playing around its corner, trying to zap with the Tesla can as much as possible. Peep actually not charging the very fast. June, Death Blossom on both sides. Death Blossom used by June. Defense Matrix eats it up, but he gets knocked back by the charge. But he's not able to find anything. Shadow comes out, finds 4. Huge. but the Coalescence just continues the beam. That's the main takedown for the side of Tokyo Drifters, and everyone else follows.
Romy had another shatter. That was pretty quick. Like,
yeah,
I think the Winston gets value if you play it correctly and play the comp correctly. I think that Apple is trying to take too much and is getting punished for it. He still has Primal. I think you should have used Primal to then Disperse and then Blossom, but because you have how you did it, like, they were just able to sustain for the Blossom. Because, like, you didn't do any displacement to make it... Like, you need to move that diva out of the way.
Definitely. I think the Winston style, he's trying to play it more as he's playing Winston with Reinhardt. I say as the EMP comes out and defines Three Central, immediately getting dropped, Frozen hacked in the backline to force the retreat. Coalescence just beam him down. They still have the heals. They might be able to go in back into this Romy charges, and they're just going to be a full reset.
I love this disengage from Overcharge. I love it. They recognize that they're going to EMP early. They give up Central, but like Corey and Seb don't get hacked, so they can maintain their cooldowns and get their team out. So now they get a quick fight again.
Yeah, when Apple trying to play like a Reinhardt Winston style, where he's trying to brawl against a hammer. EMP comes out, finds 3, Sound Bear in the wet position, finds 5. The beat coming from the other side. Apple, though, finding Pseudo hacked out of the Death Blossom Central as Primal just knocking everyone around. Romy stuck in the front of the lines, and Pete finds him. And that's going to be another reset by Overcharge.
Like the Blossom from Central, and I don't think the EMP was very good either. I understand the beat usage, but the DPS ults to me were just like, why?
Yeah, and this comp with the EMP, if you don't find the Lucio, you're not getting a single inch of value.
I mean, you can still get value with it because, like, Blossom, if you Blossom and Focus Fire convert your beat. But
yeah,
it's generally. Just that they played spread. They knew what was going to happen. They also did a great job of tracking that ult and staying spread, knowing, make them commit. Make them, like, not get any value out of it by staying
They're not going to expect the EMP. It comes and finds 4. The Death Blossom immediately following and finding both supports, and that's just immediate fight over.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how they needed to play it. Like, that was really great. I loved the cross hold on this choke, which is like why you want to play the Winston, because the Winston can control that high ground and make it really hard for them to poke him out, and can then just contest from on high and just do cleave for days until they build ultimates. Because, like, the Winston's going to play more for ultimates while the Ryan's playing more for space taking, I think.
Definitely playing the Winston correctly. Romy Zactor coming in with both tanks ultimates, but a big bomb from Average can shut that down right now. Frozen looking towards another EMP, does not get the hack onto the Lucio. As they actually full wraparound, I don't think they expected for Frozen. He falls. Shadow comes out and finds Apple, but he gets hacked out. Apple does fall. It's 1-for-1. Coalescence coming out. Bomb getting thrown into the backline. There's going to be Lucio falling to it. Coalescence just beaming down. Finds Romy. I don't think they might have the same. June just cleaning up on the Reaper.
Wow. Yes, they commit ults there, and now you have your DPS ults, but they are having another beat. So I don't know how I felt about that, like, late commitment. Like, Shatter, whatever, it's a fast ultimate, but I don't know about the bomb. And that bomb was just unlucky where it just landed in the middle of Apple's bubble. And, like, I've had questions where Apple's had some really good plays, some really bad plays, but there you play, like, even though he got shattered and died, like, the bubble placement, like, made it so, like, he saved it, he controlled the space with the bubble.
Yeah, and this fight, Pete's building up to that EMP. I think if Pete gets this EMP and it's big, it's all over. Frozen looking for that EMP, has to find this Lucio in it, and he doesn't. The beat comes out, but June finds early. Peep has the EMP, they need to kill him quickly. It's about to come back out, and it finds 4. Central has the Death Blossom, but he's hacked. They don't have the health to sustain. Primal throwing around, Diva knocked out of the back. That means June can go crazy. Shadow does come out, and the Death Blossom follows up with Platinum and Pete both falling. I can't believe that we're taking this. Central finding another one to Rancher. Diva's the only one. And the Reaper comes back in. The Death Blossom finding the opponent. Reaper, the sound barrier forced to be used. Romy missed the charge. It's 4v1 onto this Diva, and that's going to be Overcharged taking point B, barely.
Romy is just, like, showed up with some big shatters here and made it easier for DPS to get value. Because I think their DPS have not been using their ultimates very well. And Romy just made it a lot easier by hitting a huge shatter that allowed Central to just get free kills. Because even, like, since they're on the ground and can't run away from it, they're just getting so much damage done to them. The DM can't really help them.
Yeah, that Death Blossom doing 150 damage per second is not enough to react to when the defense matrix is there. Romy blocking the hack with the shield. Very smart. The both self-destructs used identically. The shield able to block, but it's not enough. Zacto and Central falling with Platinum. It's an even trade, 2 for 2 on both sides, as Tokyo Drift push hard with the Coalescence and actually take the fight.
I thought Zakatar's bomb was better. I did not know how average his bomb got to.
Yeah, I
was like, how did no one hide behind cart, bro? But
yeah, Romy had people behind him, but I think he backed up too much and actually put some players in front of him.
Yeah.
But that Coalescence coming in. Both EMPs. EMP early comes into 5. Pseudo dies with the Coalescence. And just a very, very quick dive.
I think they should get a touch here. At least Frozen should be able to.
Yeah, Frozen can definitely touch. Platinum doesn't have the beat. So this could look very good, and the Coalescence.
He'll build. I think he'll build it by the time they re-engage.
It's a very short window. He's looking at all of them by now. It's big. It finds 5. Lantern not hacked, but it's not going to really matter. June falling, but Frozen actually falls. The shadow is huge. Romy finally come back with it. Just the Diva on the cart. They need to kill him. It's in overtime, so there's not going to be any time left. But Frozen switching up to the Tracer. He knows he has to get back. Apple, Platinum, June all have their ultimates coming back in. This is going to take a miracle for Overcharged.
They complete this, I swear, bro. Because they should.
B coming in on the engage only finds 3. The Death Blossom to the back. It's no value as he actually falls for it. As Frozen, Death Blossom for the other side, getting defense issues, but knocked back into Platinum. Primal knocking the Death Blossom into Platinum, falling him, finding the Coalescence, finding the Moira, but not enough. As Overcharged, a miracle, finding it.
I just say I hate this game.
I believe you have committed the cardinal sin of a Cass's curse.
Bro, I just got so done complimenting, like, I was complimenting Tokyo Drift's like ultimate usage because they had gotten pretty good value on almost all their ultimates, and then I just see whoever like Asa like bro, I've got that
June. You can call him June.
Yeah, I'm just calling him June. Just like one, he drops to Reaper ult without getting the beat. And just gets one clipped by Frozen on the Tracer. I can't really say anything, but that was really a big cardinal sin right there. They just used all their ultimates and got 0 value and allowed them to sustain on point and just win the fight, which, like, they had 4 ultimates going into that.
Yeah, it was crazy how actually the ultimates leaded to their own downfall. The beat coming out, giving the Reaper a sense of security in that Death Blossom, and when he uses it, he's not able to wraith away, so he gets 1 clip out of Tracer. Apple actually using the Primal, knocking the Death Blossoming Central into Platinum, and he falls on the Lucio. And then that's all the ultimates down, and they're down too.
Like, I mean, not average. Central actually had a really good Blossom there too, because he waited and used it like when they re-engaged.
Yeah. Chewing on the Bastion. Oh, I think they're doing it. They're teleporting onto the statue.
Stop.
The Sigma shield onto the top of the statue. Yes.
No, but they're doing it. They're just hiding. They're not
yeah, but
dumb.
they're doing the smart thing. They saw this coming. They need to find a hack onto it. It's going to be hard to contest. They're not playing this right. They're playing it slow. The Diva going out to the back, but Central teleporting up. He doesn't even see him. Platinum finding it back. Both DPS. This favors the attackers. Immortality field is used. Apple getting hard pressured out, and he actually falls. And as much as my dreams would love it, it's going to be Overcharged taking the first fight.
Steph dies though, but at the same time, like, that was like almost a good attack by TD. I've never seen anyone actually execute that correctly, and it was funny. But Central had the huge pick on the Bash. Even though he sacrificed it, the trade is what matters because now they can push for free.
Yeah, there's Zarya coming out. They want to play this fast, and they actually have control of point. Coalescence coming out. The one take's going to be going over the potential. This Coalescence, though, is too much as they find it, and solo Shadow onto Zarya is going to be enough as both tanks fall for Tokyo.
I don't know if I like the Shatter because I think they won that fight even without it because, like, Frozen hacks Peep can't really push because now he can't get out, and he's trying more focused staying alive. And the Shadow's unnecessary. I guess it doesn't matter as much since, like, they're only 60 to their ult, so in theory, if you have a good fight, you should build it fairly quickly. But
yeah, they need to keep this ultimate economy up. Platinum coming onto that, he's going to have that. This EMP could come a second before the Blossom. before the EMP. EMP comes out. He's not hacked. Only finds 3. The beat comes out and it hits all 6. They can go really hard into the Zactar with the bomb. He needs to throw it out now. He does. And the hammer down doesn't find anything as Zactar's bomb is huge. 3 down for Tokyo and it's going to be yet another reset.
I really like the bomb usage from both divas today because both have just used it as, instead of an engagement tool, as more of a like dissuasion on pushing after EMPs, which is a really good way to use it because it's really hard to push into an EMP when you have a bomb that, like, if you're in the LOS of it, you just die.
I could be wrong, but I think Apple died mid-shatter. 3 ultimates.
No, he shattered. Just
okay, he did. Okay. I wasn't paying too much attention to it. Hack tries to come onto Apple, but he doesn't get the bubble coming out. Both Coalescence used. EMP only finding the Zot. Oh, sorry. EMP finding 3 onto the other side. Coalescence Apple super deep, but he may be a little too deep. The Shadow comes out, finds 3 around the corner. Death Blossom from Central is bigger than Death Blossom from June, and that's going to be another hold. But that was heavy ult usage from the side of Overcharge.
That was a heavy ult usage from both teams. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why June decided to ult that when people are shattered on the ground and the Diva's still up and can just DM you. Like, I get it to try and maybe prevent follow-up. Like, I just had talked about how we used that. That's how Zactar used that Diva bomb. But it's much harder to do as a Blossom because you can just eat it. You can't eat a bomb.
As much as Diva would like to try, but both tank and ultimates coming up for the side of the Tokyo. They could use it to grab. Gets eaten by Zactar! But Apple needs a miracle shadowed, but EMP is not going to let him do it as they're forced into the back corner. And they're all going to fall. And they only have one more opportunity. Ooh.
Zach and Romy just look so good right now. Like,
Zarya getting no value.
And I talked about this on Li Zhang. In comps that like enable your tanks, Romy and Zactar look much better than Apple and Apple.
Yeah, it's kind of the DPS from Tokyo trying to pull it back. The beat does come in, finds 6 with the quick engage. Zactar using the bomb to disengage. The Shadow not finding anything, but the Shadow on the other side finding 2. As Central and Romy both finds 2 clapback, but it's going to be Overcharge pulling ahead of the EMP onto 5, but there's no follow-up. June is able to touch onto the point, finds the Moira as he's forced the wave form away, but he's the only one back in. He has a touch, he's not able to do it. Platinum coming back in, he gets hacked, he's not able to touch. And Overcharge are going to full hold and tie up the series 1-1.
Overcharge did a really good job of just giving up ticks when they needed to. They did a really great job of just playing more as a team. I feel like TD was just so disjointed. Like, they telegraphed ultimates, right? And then, like, they also messed up several combos. Honestly, though, that's unlucky for Zactar, because this man just landed on top of Zactar.
Yeah, he was hacked, but either way, it would have been very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you really see the difference between the teams. Tokyo Drifters looking to have the more high-skill DPS, but Overcharge, their team coordination definitely brought them the victory on this one.
I think, like, how this is going to go. I think right now that the DPS for Tokyo is performing a little bit better than the DPS for
definitely
for Overcharge, but I think the tanks are just so much better for Overcharge than they are for Tokyo, and I think the supports are pretty even right now. Because both Corey and Platt have done a great job of getting value out of their beats. Sev got a couple calls canceled, but overall has done a really good job of just staying alive in fights. And Rancher's just had gotten a lot of value out of his calls in general. So I think it's a really even game, and we could see a really good game rest of the season.
Yeah, it was really good to see the teams, the Winston style versus the Vine style. The Vine definitely pulling ahead, a big difference. I'm scared going into this next one, though. I think the Reinhardt depends on which map is picked by Tokyo, but the Reinhardt could be a big exploit. I think you're going to want to go to Gibraltar here. What do you think?
I just think I don't know. Like, I don't think it's so much the Rhyme play that allowed Romy to do well. It's just I think Romy and like the tank line has played better overall. So I don't know, like, because I think Gibraltar is one of those maps that could really, really favor a good tank line.
Though it's not the Rhine itself, we've only seen Romy on the Rhine and technically the Wrecking Ball install. But Romy only playing the Rhine, I don't know if he can play Winston.
Oh, he definitely. Bro, if you can't play Okay, let's see what SR this dude is. Okay, if you are like, you know, peak 3600 and like 3700 and can't play at least some Winston, I'm very concerned for you as an individual.
I'm just saying, we've seen them, the way they're playing, it seems like Overcharged is playing a very close GOATS-esque style where they use the speed boost and the Reinhardt to outbrawl Tokyo. I think with a Winston, it could mess up because then you're going to want to be more split to avoid that EMP on the other side. And we are actually going to be going to Watchpoint Gibraltar.
I think that it could be good because I do think Apple has looked pretty good on the Winston at times. It all depends on the comp they play. I think Tokyo has a better shot if they just like stick to like a Widow Pharah or like a Widow's anything, and just play where they more so enable their DPS to carry their game. Because I think Frozen and Central, I really have had a hard time taking that duel back.
Do you think we're going to see Romy force the Reinhardt or switch over to a Winston?
If he forces, because like Reinhardt's actually really good on third point.
Yeah, third.
But I don't know. I feel like I'll see him play it on third, but I think he could play Winston.
Yeah, I think even probably an intermediate, from there above, every man tank has to be at least able to play a character. Though it seems like he does favor the Reinhardt and it's his specialty.
I mean,
if Romy can't play Winston, I definitely do as well. But a good Winston play is fun. But that's besides the point. Romy, if he can't even at least play it to the level of advanced, it could prove disastrous to the series. As it seems like the tank coordination between Romy and Zaktar have been what helped Overcharged. It is Overcharged. It just switched in the lobby, which confused me. Romy and Zaktar, the tank coordination being what really got that full hold on King's Row. So it's going to be hard if the Winston throws a wrench in it for that carry from the tank line to continue.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm really excited to see what these teams decide to run. Are we taking a break? Can I use the mic? All right, can we? I think we should just go on break till they start, because I have things I need to do real quick.
You're good. If we have to go in early, I can do both. I can.
We're back. I'm back. Hey guys. Yeah, as we get ready to go in Gibraltar, I'm really interested to see some of the comps coming out. I really hope TD sticks towards the DPS heavy comps and DPS like favored, so they can, I think, do really well in the series. I think Romy and Zaktar just look better on the tank duo.
Yeah, now we finally get to see the difference in the flexibility of Romy, as they are going to be on Gibraltar, the famous Winston map. So I'm excited to see how this goes. We're going to see the composition soon.
Yeah, it's really Winston's favorite map because of all the high ground, but you can make so many different comps work on it. Or so many different heroes.
Romy answering the question and picking the the Winston. So
I think you have. I think you have to at least attempt the Winston.
I really hope Tokyo is memeing right now with this composition. I presume they are.
I think they're gonna go for a pull hook at the beginning, see if they can just
Yeah.
get lucky like at that top, because that's a really common spot to do it. And you know, if you get a pick, you get a pick. Because if the Tracer or whatever for Overcharge holds too aggressively,
I don't think anyone's going to be there for it. But it is a very smart, because if that pull hook finds someone, it's basically half of point A for free.
Mm.
Yeah, if they're going to go for it, it's not going to be able to find anything. And they're going to go back, spawn switch to Winston Diva, I presume. Yeah.
yeah. We're just gonna see them kind of posture and look at each other, because the Tracer has more mobility. Is going to be more focused on harassing the backline, while their comp is more about just engaging. When I say they, I mean TD.
Blancher on the mid ground, getting picked early, uncharacteristic. As June is forced on to wraith away onto Kart in the first fight going to Tokyo, but it looks like the second fight is going to come very quickly.
So now we see like a more classic version of Sombra, where you're playing more flankish and less with the team, because you want to get. Oh, big boot by Zach! I love that. I love that boot back to deny the jump from Apple.
Yeah, very important. If that boot comes through, if he's able to teleport onto the top with the hack Diva, it could be very hard to get followed. But Central falling onto that Tracer, without that extra damage, it would be really hard to push through. Frozen on the right side trying to find something, as I cannot do anything. The hack onto Romy as he falls through. He just gets a Primal, but he's hacked, not able to use it as he falls to June. Finding two onto Sudo as well. Navino, go ahead and take over for a second.
I really think that the comp that Overcharged is running is just like, as soon as you lose the Tracer, it loses all like the harassment that it has, and like you have no way to really keep up Romy on Winston if he gets hacked, because like they just have so much frontline pressure with the Reaper that it's so hard to play slow against him, especially in like the dive mirror that they're playing, and there's not enough like spam damage to keep him from taking space for free.
Yeah.
So I think like I personally think Central needs to match, and they just go the Shadow Dive mirror. Or they need to go like some sort of spam or more pick-oriented that's easier to get value.
Yeah, Central on the Tracer loses a lot of the main damage. 6 ultimates on both sides. Central is hacked into the mid ground and it falls the peep once again. Central falling early, not able to find it. So now this is going to be a hard 5v6 to take, especially without the damage of a Reaper or a Tracer. A Reaper falling down onto the Diva, forcing it out. Frozen finding Platinum. The EMP from both sides beat coming out with the self-destruct showing big restraint. June throwing the Death Blossom against the beat, not really finding anything. Romy does throw out the Primal as well. Pseudo falling in succession. This could be a retake. The hack onto Central. He could get picked here, but he actually finds Peep. And that's going to be Overcharged falling back. I mean, Tokyo Drift falling back.
Yeah, I mean, they did like the 2 EMPs came out and Peeps was just kind of like not as big as Frozen. Frozen got a good job and they were able to follow up on that value. They get the softest engagement, just able to recontest because of how their comp works.
Yeah, Average finding one to the Romy. They were very careful about their ultimates and didn't use them, and they're just going to cap without much resistance. They had the huge ultimate advantage, as looks like Overcharge kind of threw in every single ultimate they had onto that EMP fight, and then it kind of costed them.
Yeah,
well,
I think that I like the switch back to the mirror, because now you could have matched that frontline bullying. Unless Central's getting a pick every fight.
Close to a mirror.
Yeah. Well, yeah, except with the Rhine. Like, but again, we talked about how good Rhine is third point.
Yeah. Romy definitely going to get the better value of the two. Apple trying to play this high ground. He's not really contributing to the fight right now. Dropping down onto the front line. The self-destruct getting thrown out, but it's not going to be able to find much. But Central kind of getting locked out by the self-destruct. The Romy's shield does fall as he gets pressured into the right side. He's isolated. He does get hacked. So Coalescence comes back to keep him up. EMP going thrown back. Finds fire, but not the Lucio. Peep falling right before the beat finds it. Apple trying so hard to stay alive. June gets hacked with the Death Blossom, not able to wait for him away as he gets taken down by Zacthorn. And Overcharge is going to continue to hold.
Really good hack and follow up by Zach Qatar and Frozen onto June, who they see has the ultimate, and they are able to just kill him by hacking him and boosting onto him. They really need to save Frozen here, though. Oh. Big Shatter.
Big Shadow coming out, early engaged but it's not the follow-up wasn't there, it was the EMP. Death Blossom finds 3 on the back turn. What an insane throwback. June following up with Peep's EMP with the Death Blossom as they're going to start cruising towards C. The respawns are going to come through. There is ultimates coming from the other side. The Potato with that beat could come in clutch, but someone's going to have to touch. No one, the charge is able to get through. The self-destruct finds Apple because he was charged, wasn't able to throw down the bubble. Zaktar falling out of the mech. Pseudo finding the kickback central, just using a Death Blossom when there's no one around him, as Tokyo is not going to be able to find it into C yet.
This is why the Shatter nerfs need to be reverted, because Shatter feels so useless. Because like in 3 seconds you just get back up and you can just use all your ultimates. Like it's so hard unless you have perfect focus fire, especially in like the max range Shatters. It's so hard to finish those kills. So hard to finish those kills, and they just are able to use their ultimates to bring that fight back. But now Overcharged has the advantage going in with 4 ultimates.
Yeah, early EMP finds 5, including the both side, and another Shadow for Romy. It wasn't really needed, but it was there. Pete finding Pseudo on the back turn, but that's it.
Average is doing a great job though of eating fire strikes and trying to mitigate that ult charge, but like literally Romy can just swing for free.
And now the ultimate economy pendulum swings back.
I don't know, like they still their support ultimates, they can still sustain and build other ultimates. Like they have 2 to their like 4-ish.
Early beat comes in from Platinum. They're trying to get Peep onto this EMP before Potato can throw it out. Potato hiding in spawn. He knows that this is coming, but he's just kind of playing cat with it. Peep still doesn't have it, and they're expecting it. Coalescence coming up from both sides. The self-destruct thrown into the spawn, forcing the Lucio and the Moira back into spawn. Peep has the EMP ready, but he's kind of holding on to it. Death Blossom coming out into the spawn, finding Central Frozen on point, trying to build it on another. The EMP comes out, and Potato does use it, and the beat's not able to get value as Frozen's the only one left alive, and Tokyo is going to find C with 124 left in the clock.
Did Corey beat at the same time as the EMP? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Because like
the EMP come out and he had 12% ult charge.
Huh.
I don't know
I
what
guess
happened.
just unluckers, I guess. Like I don't know. Like I thought that they I don't know. I thought that they were gonna be like I thought Corey did a great job of hiding and being patient. He didn't commit the beat too early because he knew if he committed the beat too early, they would just rip it off. Unlucky timing maybe, or maybe Peep just kind of found him. I didn't see that, but good play overall from Tokyo to like commit their ultimates and leverage that EMP to like, because I think Sureforce said it before, like even if you have EMP, the team plays so differently, and if they don't commit their ults because they think you have EMP or they know you have EMP, and then they play scared and you commit your ultimates and they can't, because if they do, they just get ripped away by EMP. But if they don't commit them, you just beat them in the neutral anyway, because you have ults.
I'm gonna have to check the replay, but I think what might have happened is Potato he stopped waiting for the EMP and used the beat in spawn, but because of the staircase, he didn't have line of sight on anyone else, and it ended up being a solo beat, and it was hacked away.
That's a rip, bro.
I can't confirm it, but that's what I believe happened.
I call for pause, so Braxton.
Pause coming out.
Oh wait, never mind.
Never mind. We're going to get an immediate unpause, I believe. The teleport coming out, wanting to find the other side. Just this early brawl coming through, but forcing Overcharge down to the low ground. Tokyo just having this high ground, they can't really do much with it. Romy trying to poke with the Winston, but they dive onto the point with the Symmetra. Toa's not getting anything. Finding it's just a big brawl onto this low ground. Zaktar finding Jin early in the fight, and it's just going to. But Frozen falling back, both DPS down. June Central switching over to the Reaper. He's able to get more work done as Overcharge going to keep pushing this.
Wait, they switched over to the Reaper? Like they weren't on it from the beginning?
They switched to Samba. I mean, Sim.
Tracer? Or Sim?
They Sim TP'd out and then tried to play with it.
That's weird.
Yeah. This corner hardest to go around. But Tokyo giving a lot of space. Early Coalescence coming up for Overcharge. They're forcing this back. Coalescence getting so much value. Romy diving in, not much pressure going on to him. June coming up to that Death Blossom Peep. The Coalescence coming up for Rancher. The clapback is fast. Romy has the primal. He needs to use it before he dies. He throws it out. He's able to big disrupt. Apple coming up with the primal. Forced to use it as well. Both primals out. Peep has the EMP before Frozen. Self-destruct does come out. It doesn't find anything. Big ultimate online for the side. The EMP solo onto June just to cancel the Death Blossom before his big Peep knocking back with another EMP. But the beat was big enough, but not enough to save Pseudo. Average falling back. But Central finding one with the Death Blossom because Jivo's out of mech and he actually capped the point. What an insane fight.
This is what I just like to call fireworks because everyone just pressed Q, bro. And
oh yeah, everyone.
I love the EMP though, the cancel Reaper roll. Frozen, great awareness to see that. Like, why are we playing Sigma?
I think it was just a quick.
Okay, they just. I was like, hold on.
I was confused as well.
Honestly, great play from Overcharged to like just pull like know what they're trying to do and playing really honestly like. I hate when I say like playing reactively is good, but they just adapted to what they were trying to do and outplayed Tokyo Drifters there.
Apple falling low on the point. Coalescence from Pseudo built up so fast that he's able to get quick pick onto Apple. Frozen just pressuring him out. The hack not able to come through onto Romy. Falls into Zactar. Potato finding June. So much damage lost. Romy finding Platinum. And it's just going to be B with just another steam wall.
Like as soon as they get momentum, like Overcharged plays with so much more aggression, and they play it like a lot better that way because they can play it more like a straight line brawl.
Yeah. Oh wow! Platinum not able to red his way out of that situation.
Like a lot of people don't realize is like Shadow Knight does play a lot like a straight line brawl where you just have to walk in and just kind of hold left click, and you're playing like to just do damage around corners. And Romy's doing that really well, except he's just controlling high ground as much as he can.
Yeah, sitting up there, getting forced out. The hack coming out to Frozen, not able to do much with it. Coalescence coming from Tokyo, just the pressure out. Pseudo falls back, and this is going to be a quick retreat from Overcharge.
Engage, like, yeah, only the tanks get out, but the fact that any of them get out at all is just good in general. Really nice pack from Peep on the Frozen that kind of just swung that fight. And you see, like, a lot of those fights where, like, higher level teams, like, as soon as they lose one, like, we'll be able to assess, like, can we win without our AMP? No, alright, let's just back out. Like, just call it a loss.
Pseudo building up to another Coalescence. Early EMP from Peep, finding 4. The best Death Blossom not getting any value from June, though. Zactar does fall out of the mech, but that's the only counter strategy as the EMP comes back to the other side. Finds 5. The Death Blossom is much more effective from the other side, finding 4. Not the Death Blossom, but the EMP. And they're going to go on to this final fight, finishing C.
You know how I said that, like, Tokyo's DPS are getting more value out of their ults? That is flipped. That is not true anymore.
Definitely flipped. Platinum uses the beat as soon as he gets it. Self-destruct thrown into the beat. Bubble is broken. Frozen falls to it. Apple Romy trying to dive in. He has the primal, but he's falling so low. Self-destruct using the other side. Primal. Oh, he
nice
knocked Apple out of the mech, but Apple breaks line of sight in barely. As both primals knock each other around on point, it's going to be Tokyo pulling ahead. Really
good bubble by Apple to keep his team alive. He sees it straight line victory, and just has a heads up play. Yeah, wow, that was really good. I think that they got so much value out of the tank ults there. Like everything I've said, for like last 2 maps has now flipped. Because now I think Tokyo's tanks are playing much better. The DPS are playing meh, and not like for Tokyo anyway. I think Romy and Zach have still played this really well overall for Overcharged.
June with the Death Blossom could be huge. He drops in and finds close and immediately both Sombras out, but Rantu falls on the side of Tokyo. This is Overcharged's one opportunity to get this in. Zactar does get fall on the mech. June falling as well. That's so much of the damage lost on the stop. Death Blossom coming out. Defense Matrix is not there. Finds Apple in the bubble. The EMP destroys the bubble, so Romy and Central fall. Average getting a huge combination with Peep's EMP as Overcharged, though losing the wind. Hack onto Zactar as soon as he gets back into the mech, and that's going to be Tokyo holding back on with a miracle play from Average and Peep.
honestly, that was just satisfying. Like that's one of those like
Definitely.
you think you're playing this so well, and then all of a sudden it's like EMP. Yes,
Well,
a
I'm
fun
switching back
ability.
to the tried and true.
Yeah, they're right.
Both support ultimates to the side of Tokyo. Frozen needs to hit this Lucio with this EMP. But he's hiding and he finds 3. The beat comes out immediately, finding 6. Coalescence used as well. Double support ultimates. I don't even think it's going to be needed. No kills coming out though as the beat comes from the other side. The Apple forced to use the primal into the back. He's getting beamed down pretty quick. Apple just getting melted. He dies to a charge. Central dying as well though. That's a lot of the damage lost. Whelmy finding with the charge. Zacto, it does have the bomb and there's no shield on the side of Tokyo. The bomb gets thrown in, doesn't find anything, a little bit too high, as they need to push this quick. June trying to come in Peep with another EMP. Potatoes does not have the beat as he used it earlier. Peep out of EMP and probably a second. June hacked with the Death Blossom. They're gonna look to EMP Death Blossom this really quick. Average also has his self-destruct. A lot of ultimates building against him. The EMP cancels the Coalescence, finds 5. Whelmy falling super low as the death, and the bomb is huge, finding 4 for Average. Average with these bombs have been destroying Overcharged.
I think it's more the EMP placement than anything. Like the bomb placements have been okay, but like Peep has just built these EMPs so quickly. Like he really turned it up. Like I was really like kind of like mad about his play earlier in this map, but like he has built EMPs so much faster than Frozen. It feels like he has it at almost every fight.
Yeah, Billiam super quick farming off of that Reinhardt. On the other side, June does still have his Death Blossom, but a defense matrix could lead to his life. Central getting hacked with the Blossom. Both support ultimates coming out. The EMP, once again, only finding 3 as the beat comes back as he hides. The Shadow finding 1 onto the Lucio, and the Apple does take the charge, and he dies for a Death Blossom in the back. Average finding Central beat. Coming back from the other side. Central dying with the Death Blossom. He's not able to use it. Pseudo building up to a Coalescence very quickly. Will he be able to get it before this is over? June super low. Whelmy finding Rancher. Both coming back on the other side. Apple switching over to the Wrecking Ball. Not able to do as much. Pete finding another though. Building up to another EMP, and he has it. Uses it. It's going to be Tokyo Drifters finishing map 2 as the Death Blossom is cancelled. Map 3. I'm sorry. And going up 1
2-1,
2-1. I'd had a stroke. What a
They
good
really,
match.
they really did a good job of forcing ultimates in bad places in the last couple of fights. As like Sev just gets his EMP automatically, his Cole automatically canceled, right? And then yeah, here it is. Like you see it. Like I don't know if they didn't track it or Sev just had to use it because he's like everyone's gonna die regardless if I don't use this. But really good EMP, and third point, Pete became alive.
Yeah,
like, so alive.
Pete definitely played well. I would like to call out on the defense, Platinum with those beats. Though the EMPs from Frozen weren't spectacular, Platinum was hiding in such a place where after the EMP, even if it found all 5, the beat would come back up. Their option was either getting the entire enemy team or the Lucio. And they had to find that Lucio, but they weren't able to do it.
I really think that like the teams looked really even. I think that the first 2 points that Frozen and Central just did a much better job of like DPS wise, just keep putting pressure and melting front lines. While third point, I think I saw Peep and Austin and June just like really take back over and do a much better job than they did the first 2 points.
Yeah, I think we definitely saw the answer to the question. Can Romy play Winston? Yes. Can you do it to the level of Apple? I don't think so.
I don't even think Romy's Winston play was bad. I think it was more of like
I don't think it was bad. I think the synergy with Zactor was a little bit off compared to the Reinhardt. But it was definitely Peep in June coming alive that saved the round.
100%.
And we are going to be going to Temple of Anubis for map 4.
Akri, do you know the scores in the other games?
Oh, I do. What do you want to know?
I know Powerhouse for Hangzhou because that's on stream. What's Epi versus Vertigo right now?
Oh, Epi versus... I thought you meant previous results.
Shake my head, bro.
I do not have the other results.
Dang it. Alright, fair enough.
Bark versus Powerhouse is Bark is up 2, Powerhouse is at 1.
No, it's 2. Yeah, I'm looking at the stream right now. It was 2-1. I was just curious. 2-1. Powerhouse is down.
So, what do you think Overcharged has to do to bring this back to a map 5?
I mean, they're probably gonna pick a. I mean, yeah, they pick Anubis. Second point is fairly good for Ryan. I think first is rather weak for Ryan.
The thing
Just
is,
my opinion.
The thing is, after this, if Overcharge is able to tie up the series going into and make it 2-2, we're going to have, I believe, Busan.
Yeah,
as the
Busan's
tiebreaker. Busan is the tiebreaker. I think then it kind of comes down to RNG. If Mecha Base is able to be played, I think that would just go to Overcharged, while the other two could be toss-ups. So there is a chance Overcharged isn't able to play Mecha Base into a map 5 if Tokyo is able to 2-0. But I'm getting too much ahead of myself. We're going to have Temple of Anubis, Tokyo Drifters defending.
I really think that this could be a really solid play or like a really solid map for both teams. I understand why Overcharge picks it, because I think like of all the 2 CP maps, right, it has the least amount of high ground for Winston to abuse, so you can like force that Ryan pick, like at least on second, because Hanamura second, you know, Winston can just like jump all over the place. Like, yes, you fight on point, but you do on all 2. Volskaya, so good for like, it can be so good for like the shadow dive with Winston, which is what they want to run. And Anubis just makes the most sense, because after first, like, which first point Anubis is so easy to take as long as you're like a coordinated team.
Yeah, I think it is going to come down to which team can hold point B better. We're not going to see anything too different from both of these teams. I think it's just going to be the same comp from both sides, with Romy on the Ryan and Apple on the Winston.
Yeah, probably. I would not be surprised.
But I think actually, you could see some unique defenses, depending on. No, we're going to see the exact same thing.
The exact same thing.
The exact same thing. Both Romy on the Ryan, Apple on the Winston, with mirror comps. Other than that, I am excited to see, can Peep keep up this high EMP charge, or is he going to fall behind?
I think that Anubis, I don't know. Like, I think Peep has looked better than Frozen most of the series, but Frozen like has his moments where he gets kills without like using really any abilities, and I think that's just a pure mechanical aim thing.
Yeah, Frozen's seeming to have the better neutral aim, but Peep definitely having the better EMPs.
I mean, I can't really say who has better aim because I'm not speccing them, but like it just seems like in the neutral fights, Frozen gets more value.
Yeah, his EMPs are a little lackluster though. Romy just holding the shield for his team to go through the left side. Very obvious strategy coming out. Now they're gonna look for this ball, trying to come back in and hack onto June. He can't wait for him away if they went onto him, as they're going to push forward. Romy pushing very hard. His shield actually breaking, not able to follow up on it though, and they're going to be forced back. Romy hacked. He's falling super low. Suda building up to that coalescence extremely quick. Diva contesting the Winston up top. As Rummy comes on to point, he's extremely low. He's not able to get healed up, but Apple and Rantar fall too. That's an advantage for the attacker team. Central finding yet another one to Platinum. Now with that Diva's out of mech, it is impossible for his retake.
You know, I've noticed you say this a lot, but the Moira for Overcharged is pronounced Sev. Like, I just call him Sev. Or Sev?
Sev?
Yeah, just call him Sev. Just call him Sev.
Okay, Sev. So
Sev, if I've been saying your name wrong this entire time, you know, just shoot me.
No, I think I probably was saying it wrong. I think it was...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Sev.
Yeah. Ildi and Pivo calling 5. The beat is not able to be used because it's not up. Zaktar falling on the mech, but that's the only casualty. Counter EMP comes through, finds the Lucio for it. Both DPS being the only ones that hacked Frozen, finding Rancher with the coalescence coming out from the side of Sev. Potato finding the both death bosses, but June's is so much better. Shadow coming up by Romy. Is the follow-up though? It's just a Saba alive Frozen against Frozen and Peep. as Average and Pete, the only two survivors. What a chaotic few seconds.
Everyone press Q!
Everyone press Q, but the support line from the side of Tokyo.
So Platt, I've noticed, is kind of outbuilding Corey in the beats. And I don't know if that's maybe because he's using heal more, but that's just something I've noticed recently.
Yeah, very quick engage though. The Coalescence being used as they have it. The Potato is hacked, not able to use it. Rancher getting the Sev on the Coalescence. Whelmy falling down, and it's just going to be a weak contest for Overcharge. Not a weak contest, a retreat.
Yeah. We will see, like, what happens, because now Corey has, Corey has beaten, he's had it for about, like, a half a fight, and Peep's about to have a second EMP. Frozen's, like nearly 20% behind. Peep has just been outbuilding him. I think Central and June has been pretty even in how they've been building, but Peep just has his EMP, like, every fight.
Yeah, all coming down to how many of those shots you hit are headshots. That's a big difference in that EMP charge. Even from a distance, those headshots really matter as Frozen's forced away. Both EMPs coming online. The big EMP with self-destruct getting thrown in. It's able to find Central as he's run into the attacker spawn. June finding Frozen as well. Both DPS down for the size of Overcharge, and they're going to retreat once again.
They just did a good job of controlling chokes and using bombs to like take that space back, so like Romy can't swing for free. He has to shield to keep his team alive, and then Winston gets clean for free.
Yeah, it seems like Overcharge is really forced to hit their head against the wall with the ultimate deficit they put themselves in after that first fight. But now it's pretty even with more ultimates for Overcharge.
Yeah.
Primarily that EMP. Frozen needs to find Platinum with this. Platinum's probably hiding. I can't seem to find him. Yeah, he's hiding just in the back. It's going to be impossible to find him. This EMP is going to come out. And then it's just going to be immediately beaten. EMP comes out and comes right back. Peep, though he didn't get it, but he's far enough away. Both Death Blossom being used with no avail. Both of them got hacked actually. Potato using the beat in Coalition. Romy not able to do much on the Reinhardt. Zaktar has the bomb, ready to throw it out. Apple forced to use the Primal, but doesn't get much value out of it. Hack onto Sentry, he's not able to wait for him away. The bomb gets thrown into the back. Romy just charges with it. But now that Romy's gone, the backline is exposed as Tokyo dive onto it. Romy is hacked. Central fighting Platinum is able to continue it. EMP, Peep with another one, finds 6, but there's not much follow-up. The bomb coming out from Average, but it can be easily line of sighted as he finds Frozen. June finding Romy. If there could be comeback, Central, June is just left alone. Central falling to Rancher. June is just able to keep it up, not able to die. Peep, though, I think the real hero in that, with that EMP charge. How quick was that?
I think that was... Like, I literally just watched Frozen kind of walk back into the LOS with the bomb, even though he could have walked away and lived, and die to it. So I don't know about that one, Chief. But
I was afraid of Zaktar. Zaktar got knocked out of mech as the bomb exploded. I thought he was going to get knocked into line of sight.
That brief second of immortality as well. Help you.
Yeah. Romy coming back into the Reinhardt, not able to find too much. The Shadow finds both tanks. The Death Blossoms both use identically again for the third time. The charge knocks Average out of max, but the big kills from Overcharge. Platinum trying to stall on that Lucio as long as he can. He tried to get the beat, but he doesn't have it. They need to stall to get the speed. June switching over. Apple switching to the Wrecking Ball, just stalling for time. They need Platinum to get back. Zaktar finds the hack. Apple hacked as the power drive. June finds Central. The EMP does come out from Frozen. Platinum coming back with that beat, and he lands it, finds 5 with it as Overcharge. They need to clean this up quick. Platinum finding Sev as the beat comes out. The EMP comes from the other side, finding Zaktar and Romy. Romy hacked with the Shadow, but he's not able to use it as he falls. I can't believe it, but Tokyo Drifters is going to hold on.
CP feels bad, man. Also, Peep just built that EMP again. Really fast. That's just like...
Had to be less than a minute.
It is quite insane how fast he builds those.
June actually staying on the Doomfist. If June gets hacked in this position, this could be point B. He goes out and finds the slam, but it wasn't fully charged. Doesn't instantly kill the Moira. The Moira was so low as June gets followed. He used all abilities to try and find it. Romy charges in. He has the shadow. He stole the shadows onto Rancher and Peep. Rancher following Peep, staying alive. The Coalescence coming out. Full Overcharge, self-destruct from Average. Doesn't find anything. Once again, Overcharge looking to lead the fight, but I don't think there's going to be a miracle planning this time. Average hacked on the point. The Meteor Strike does come out. It doesn't find anything. The beat is used. Finds all 6 notes to Overcharge. Central just throwing out the Death Blossom. Finding Average. 2 players on the right side. Romy trying to just clean up. Another EMP from Frozen. Not really needing it as it's going to be Overcharge capping with no time left.
They capped. Like, this is very similar almost King's Row where we saw, like, them cap at OT, but then full hold Tokyo. So I could still see that happening. Like, I really think the difference was 2CP, Platinum, and Peep. Because Platinum had, like, was constantly, or consistently, building beat with the EMPs, while Peep was just building EMP at a stupid rate.
Yeah.
I don't know about, like, why, but I think Zaxxar might be... Like, I really like how Zaxxar's played the series, but, like, it's either, like, Zaxxar needs to contest the Sombra more and, like, eat more of the damage so he doesn't free farm, or Frozen maybe he's just not playing aggressive enough and taking, like, doing enough poke in between fights to consistently build his EMP. So, yeah. It could be either. I would have to watch, like, the replay code back to see which one I think is more accurate, but both of those ways are something I can see, because, like, in theory, versus the Reinhardt comp, like, especially if they have shield up, the Sombra ideally isn't going to be building as much alt charge unless they're taking an off angle at the Reinhardt. Because, like, in how Shadow Dive usually plays, he's usually playing his ball. The Sombra is usually within the same vicinity as everyone, just spamming down a choke, trying to build ult. Which is why Sombra builds ult so fast in these times.
I think it's going to be... Is this Wrecking Ball going to stay? If it is, no, it's going to switch over to Dio. Peep on the Widow, though, looking for... Okay, never mind.
We got teased.
We did get teased. Romy playing in this right side. I think he's expecting them to come to the... I actually don't know. They're playing without a shield. Peep is able to already get ahead. Boop away from Apple. Zaxxar is hacked. Apple getting forced out as soon as he dives in. Now they're at this really awkward position as June does get hacked, but he gets booped away, barely saving his life. Zaxxar hacked again. Apple looking for the dive up top. As soon as it comes, Reaper up top behind him, but they don't really see. As they actually go onto the high ground. June is in the bottom. He has been scouted, and he's now fighting. He's forced away from away. His team have to get in now before June dies, and he does. Romy just swinging, finds him. Sev with Platinum and the charge onto Apple, and it's going to be Overcharge holding this.
I'm just watching Peep. Okay, I don't think you needed the call there, Sev. I love you, Sev, but I don't know. I don't know about that one, Chief.
With how
but
fast
Frozen's at
filming,
67 and Peep's at 96, bro.
Yeah,
Peep
they're gonna have this EMP for engage.
And Corey's only at 73 beats. This is just wild. Peep is just farming.
Peep, this EMP could just make a nightmare. They're actually going up onto the high ground. They're gonna force them to go onto the point, or they're just case. The EMP comes out from Frozen, but he finds 3. The EMP counter though finds 5. The beat's not ready, but it's going to be Tokyo finding the kills on attack with that counter EMP, finding 5. They're actually going to be taking A with it.
A lot of people say if you EMP first, you're going to lose a fight if both teams have EMP. I don't know if Frozen thought... Like, Frozen built that, like, in the middle of that fight and just EMP'd off cooldown. And Peep just waited and came in and EMP'd everyone to prevent a follow-up and allowed Rancher to just get a big coalescence.
Yeah, the big thing was Romy was... Obviously, Tokyo was halfway up the stairs, and so the players that were left on the bottom, like, get hit by the EMP. What an early beat for Platinum going in. They know the EMP is not there, so both beats going out. Self-destruct used from Zaxxar, doesn't find anything. Central actually finding Peep on the quick exit. June getting defense rate. The Shadow comes out, finding 4. Apple not kills with Primal, but the Shadow from Romy is huge, but I don't think it was enough to keep it in. Central using the Death Blossom against June, finds him. And it's such an even fight between both sides, but defenders do have the advantage. Frozen finding Rantar, and actually Overcharge is going to continue to hold.
Now Frozen's going to have EMP when Peep does not. But Peep's
Yes.
quickly catching up. But
It was Peep falling early that definitely helped. I think this is the one opportunity. B is not available. Frozen has the EMP before Peep. They need to engage this quick and engage it fast.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I think like if Frozen uses it aggressively here, like he has to know that Peep is catching up, but he has to know he has it first, right? Or at least I hope he does. And if they use it for Sev calls a P. Sev calls a P.
Okay, looking at my position right here, Tokyo is heading into that side corridor. Sev on point next to it. Potato is actually in the right side of defender's spawn. So if they're quick enough, Potato might actually get found out here.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he can just retreat back into spawn. I think he'll.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually gonna get killed, but I think if they pressure him out enough, that could make it temporary 5-6. But if they go into the side, it can line up Frozen for a great EMP. And then if Romy is aggressive enough, which we know he is, they can definitely follow up with the Coalescence as well.
I would tend to agree. I think Reborn's such a silly goose. Such a silly goose.
I don't actually know. I think the best chance for Overcharge here is actually waiting for Tokyo to engage with ultimates first and then countering with EMP. Because if they can EMP Coalescence win this fight right here, right now, but then Tokyo comes back in with Bomb, EMP, and Coalescence compared to maybe a Shadow from Romy. But that would give Tokyo the best opportunity they've had yet to Cat B.
No.
But it's definitely going to be hard. If they are too late with it or Average finds a good enough bomb, that could also mean B ends right here. It's honestly could look bad for both sides, look good for both sides. The goal from Tokyo right now is capping with at least 1 minute and 1 second.
Like,
what
I
do you
think
think's gonna
that
happen?
going forward, that Frozen, if he uses his EMP correctly, can like they're in a really good place where they can rotate ults and make it really hard for TD to get like a handle on the point. And if they do it correctly, they can just keep rotating ults and continue to make it hard. Because right now, Frozen, for the first time, has EMP before Peep does. And if he takes advantage of that, it could really start off a really nice set ult rotation for Overcharged.
Yeah, another thing could happen though is Frozen, if he hasn't been ult tracking correctly, he might think Peep does have the EMP because he's been building it so fast, and that could actually lead to Peep building it in this fight.
I'm just waiting. I'm ready to see what happens. You need to take this fight fast. You should have EMP. Take it fast. If you allow Pete to build it, you lose all the advantage you had.
And they're letting Pete build it. They're letting them get onto the point. Romy getting pressured out by the Reaper on the 1v1 Central. They're getting a headshot, almost one-shotting June. As that's just the fight immediately over. Of all scenarios I predicted, that was certainly not one of them.
June just bit off a little more. Oh, they can really punish Peep here. They can really. Oh, no, they don't.
Yeah, Peep was able to get out.
So now they have EMP. It's like an EMP neutral fight, but I think June, because of that, is gonna have Blossom second, while Central has it first. So if I am Overcharged, I want to try and bait EMP first, since you're not gonna have beaten time, and then you counter EMP. That's what I want to happen.
That hack on the Peep, though the kill doesn't come out, gave a lot of information telling Frozen that Peep does have the EMP, so he's gonna play cautious with it. One tick is ready to go to the side of Tokyo. Romy is hacked. June harassing him, but Romy able to just play the corner. Tick does go out to Tokyo. They step up for a second. The EMP finding 5. Frozen falling so low. Sev finding Platinum, but Frozen falling as well. Both supports dead to the side of Tokyo. Bomb gets thrown in, and Romy dies to it with his shield up. Death Blossom getting used from the side of Overcharge, but they don't really need it.
Wait, when did Peep use EMP?
Wait, Peep, did he get canceled?
I did not think he used EMP that fight. I was like, if he EMPs this bomb, it's pretty big.
I think Peep's EMP might have gotten canceled by Frozen's.
Did it?
That's the only thing I can think of, because I did not see I'm gonna have to wait for the stream to catch up.
That's nutty, bro. Nutty.
If it does, that honestly is very lucky from the side of
But Peep's already
Overcharged.
33 to another one. It's fine.
Yeah. Peep can probably build another one in this fight. June has the is gonna have the Death Blossom soon. The early beating games, they know the EMP is not there, so they don't have to wait. The Romy, the shadow gets a little wide. June finding Central, and he does still have the Death Blossom Zactar with the bomb. Apple finding the big picks on the background of the bomb. It goes in, but doesn't find any with a hack onto the Diva. Not able to do very much. June still has that Death Blossom waiting and wait. The Romy hits the charge in, and he gets booped back and almost pins Platinum, but he's not able to do it. June finding Frozen. June just holding on to the Death Blossom, teasing it. Waiting for Zactar to get knocked out of the mech, and he does, but the Immortality field is there from Sev. The Death Blossom finding Central as Immortality falls. It could still be winnable for Overcharge, but it's looking very dire. Romy falls back. And the EMP from Peep will just cement it. And it's going to be a cap with 49 seconds, but that means there's still a chance.
Wow. Well, at least they got it under a minute. That's what matters, to be honest.
That's definitely the big thing for Overcharge.
Also, really unlucky boop by, I don't know who booped him, but like Romy shatters and they get booped in the air and he gets nothing. And it's just a feels bad moment. It's a feels bad.
You hate to see it when your shadows get done like that, done dirty. I know it. I am watching back the replay of what happened to Peep's EMP. I'm gonna see a little bit. It looks like both the comps coming from both sides on this attack. The 49 seconds though is pretty big. That's basically an entire extra fight.
Yeah.
For the side of Tokyo. But if they're able to, if Overcharge is able to roll this straight in, it could definitely lead to a win for Tokyo.
I would agree. Really good stuff from from both teams. It's really honestly this match has been super close, and it's been really a pleasure to cast because you see a completely different playstyles of who's trying to enable who in these comps, and it's been really fun and interesting to watch. Peep is just an animal in Sombra.
It does get canceled. Peep's EMP got canceled by Frozen's.
Well, now we get into the overtime round, business as usual.
Yeah, June hiding in this corner. I think Romy's gonna push too far ahead and get really pressured. That's June just hiding back here.
What?
They don't know he's there. He's just looking for assassination, but he's moving too quickly. They move too quickly as Apple falls. They don't have the damage from June. What a good play, but he wasn't able to capitalize. Romy falling super low. June dies after Wraith comes out, and that's going to be Overcharge taking a super quick A. June.
One thing you don't do in Shadow Dive is flank as Reaper, and I would have been okay with it if they all held that door and let in a little space and then collapsed on the door, but they didn't.
Yeah, they just let Romy run in.
Yeah, that was just, I think, a bad play.
Ooh, and now look at Frozen at 70. Sav also at 90. This could be a point B snowball.
Could be.
Romy trying to build up the shadow. Apple only 23 because he fell so early. Frozen, you're looking to build the MP. Sav lets the coalescence go as soon as he gets it. They need to play this quick and fast. Frozen gets hacked. They know he doesn't have the EMP, but he's probably close. Apple does fall. Frozen 94 Romy with the shadow. He's going to lay it down as soon as he sees an opportunity. Well, the EMP does come out. It finds 3. Shadow doesn't get much, but it finds enough. As no ultimates, Zactar's going to have it. Peep with the EMP, but he gets hacked. He's not able to use it. So you can see he hasn't even focused Peep down. And Peep getting rid of Lucio, and no one's able to contest down on the point. Samba is translocated away. Apple is going to be able to contest. They have this EMP. The self-destruct, though, the slam forces him into point. And the EMP comes out, finds 4. The Death Blossom, I mean, the beat is there in Coalition. Platinum has the beat. They're able to keep this sustained. Only finds Average. Average with the self-destruct. This has to be huge. And it's not. Doesn't find anything. Rantar gets charged by Romy. Average trying to do something. The punch does kill Central as he finds Frozen as well. Both GPS down. And says Overcharge. This is winnable for Tokyo. The June's going so hard onto that. Junefist, the Sav, has another Coalescence in this fight. Trying so hard. Apple just living constantly. Not able to do anything about it. Central switching over to the Tracer. Romy finding another charge onto Apple. Apple falling so low, but he's able to stay alive. Peep trying to build up to another EMP. Romy is hacked. And he's falling super low. Half health. Forced the shield away. A Potato does kill Apple with the beat. Romy has another shadow going to this Frozen. Building to another EMP. The shadow finds Peep.
Everyone.
He's finally able to do it. Platinum hits another beat in that fight. Another self-destruct coming back in. This is so chaotic. Both supports alive. Rancho coming back on his coalescence. He's gonna get to use it, but he's hacked. He's not able to use it. Apple comes back with the mines. There's a beat coming from the side of Overcharged, and the fight finally settles as Overcharged cap B.
Holy snowball, Batman. That's all I gotta say. Like, June almost brought it back with those 2 picks, but holy crap, Sev stays alive. Just keeps Romy up. And then, like, from there, they were just able to stall till the DPS got back.
It was like 6 ultimates used from the side of Tokyo and 12 from the side of Overcharged. Like, every single person got their ult twice in that fight. What an insane one. Frozen even getting a second EMP at the end. And now it's on Tokyo.
And, like, the thing is, it's like, Overcharged can go into it and be like, I'm okay. I can gladly give up first. Oh, pause. P. Hello.
That was a lot of P's.
What ass P word?
Some WAP in chat, definitely. Sev is an idiot, said by Frozen in the chat. Sev is spelled. So we can definitely see Sev spilled water on his keyboard and has to switch. Speaking of pee, I'm going to take a quick pee break while we're on pause. Welcome back. Now it's going to be the second attack for Tokyo. Tokyo desperately fighting to not even up the series. Overcharged, capping with no time left in overtime. What do you think is the strategy for Tokyo here?
Hope Peep builds EMP first, to be honest, which he has all series, and then on that last attack, like, Frozen just, like, got the better of him, I think, because, like, they lost that first fight so quickly. So as long as, like, they take their fights quickly and allow Peep the room to do the work, they should be fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're gonna have to take point A and B, which is a very daunting task. But I think they're up for the challenge, rotating in through the right side. They want to go up to this high ground, and this time Overcharge is not going to chase and actually going to wait on point. As Tokyo take this high ground, what are they going to do with it?
I think just look at them, to be honest, because Romy is just doing the correct thing and just staying in there. They can even give up a tick here.
Yeah, I think they might. Romy does step on before the ticket's given, but the Essential does get hacked. He could get beamed down. Diva is zoning out P. P
Apple
forces his
hack, Apple
looking.
hack.
Apple is hacked, but he's not able to not pressure down. But then now Tokyo is forced in a corner. Average falling super low gets knocked out of the mech. Apple falling low as well as he falls. And that's first fight going to Overcharged. Not good for Tokyo.
Like, okay. They hack like
Central.
Romy, and what does he do? He just gets to keep swinging, bro. Like, that's all you have to do. And also, like, Romy hits a huge pin onto average, which brings him so low, and able to melt him out of mech, and then you have Central just having free reign.
Yeah, if Frozen and Romy hit a fat EMP shadow here, that could just be the end. If Platinum is able to not get hit by this EMP, this should be really quick. They're going to up to this high ground again. Platinum a little bit lacking, a little bit behind. If they were chasing, that could have been the end. But
I think Corey needs to play separate here because he knows the EMP's coming.
looking for this EMP. June is right above. He doesn't have the Death Blossom. Fallen point. Frozen finds the EMP, but the Death Blossom is not there. Essential hacked. Lantern Peep binding two. All ultimates used. The bomb falls directly into the bubble. Apple gets charged, but I think Tokyo has enough kills here. Romy finding yet another right at the end. But yeah, Tokyo has enough to keep going. But do they have enough to get B?
Like, they, unlike Overcharged, like, they don't have an EMP to just take second. They only have the Blossom and the Bomb, and I guess they have Primal too. And you have a free beat from Corey. Corey can use his beat however he really wants to, and can use this to stay in the point. Because Romy will build another Shatter, guaranteed.
I think they need to send Avage's bomb in to zone them and have June, and then they use a beat to counter, and then June has to hit a fat Death Blossom. That's the only chance here. And they go in, Apple jumping in, ready to use the Primal, but he doesn't have it. Beat comes out early before any ultimates come out. Apple does use his Primal. Romy is hacked. He has another Shadow coming online. He's going to throw it as soon as he gets him hacked. He does, and it finds 3. Death Blossom from June negates a lot of follow-up. Pete finds Frozen as he builds up to another EMP. Rancher has it. June killing Central, joining his Death Blossom. The bomb getting thrown, and Romy shield falling super low as he falls low himself. As a Coalescence coming out, but immediately dies with it. Platinum has the beat. I can't believe this, but they're going to do it. Tokyo is going to cap
No.
Rancher and Platinum all with the ultimates. The recontest is going to be there from Central.
Is this really what I'm watching right now?
It is. Zactor falling Central, not able to stay on for much longer. Romy switching over. The EMP does come out solo onto Romy as he falls super quickly. Death Blossom coming out. Potato is hacked, and that's it. It's going to be double overtime, round 5, 1 minute to 1 minute, Temple of Anubis.
Sev's new keyboard didn't carry him, bro.
Sev's new keyboard seems to be working.
Also, I hate to... Dude, Acri, if I could cuss, I would be cussing a storm up right now. Because this annoys me.
Well,
Let me get away from Anubis, please.
It is Overcharged were able to cap A within the minute, while it took Tokyo all the minute 49 to cap, so I think that could be a big difference here. Now it's on to Overcharged once again to cap. Oh.
Ready for battle.
June, don't do it. He's doing it. June onto the Echo. The 2CP has broken the man.
Bro, this is draw Anubis, alright? If it's not a draw, I don't know.
If it ends in the draw, we would need... There was a chance we go to a map 6 in this series. June onto the Echo. This is both a genius and a completely 3-head play. It depends on... It could go either way. If June is able to find value, this is an amazing pick. He actually reveals that he's on Echo. Bold. To just say, I'm an Echo, what are you going to do about it? I think Romy's just going to try and do the same exact hold shield, and they do. The same rotation. At this time, June's not going to get caught out on the Reaper. The sticky bombs go a little wide as they're allowed free passage once again. The Echo trying to spam through, destroying that shield as fast as possible. Romy's shield already so low. Sticky bombs are huge, leading to a lot of damage. But once they get close like this, now Central has a big advantage. Ranko falling doesn't have the bar. Romy does fall to the focus beam though. Central needs the fall.
Bro.
Central fighting Apple. June needs a shutdown. Central just going big. June versus Central. Which DPS can carry harder? Zactor finally shuts him down. And Overcharge might just take A. Yeah, Overcharge is going to be taking A.
Insane. Central just was like, one, I don't know why Ranter doesn't drop.
Yeah, Ranter, not without the thing, he kind of just sticks in. Now with the EMP from Frozen, it's gonna come from June, probably switching over to the Reinhardt, try and find a big shadow. Rome, keep building up as fast as possible. The EMP does come out, finds 4. June needs to stay alive with this duplicate. Apple falling so low. June dying as well with the duplicate. Pete not even has the EMP yet. This could be a weak contest that comes back in. Platinum trying to stall Average, knocking out a mech. They need to give up ticks. They need to stop contesting this. Come back in with the best chance possible. Peep can EMP as June switches over. June switches over to the Diva actually. Tries to build to the bomb and she does. She launches out. The EMP is big. The bomb not finding anything. Jumping back into the mech. The self-destruct. June is hacked on the other side. Shadow finds Ranker and Pete, both of them falling. Beat coming out for Potato. Platinum is 97 to it. Needs to find the Average. Throwing up the second bomb for that side. Beat is Frozen falls. It is overcharging to finish this quick before the respawns come in, but I think it's a little bit too late. Overcharge running out of steam. Potato's the only healer coming, trying. Apple with the primal. He's so high health. Sev does come back in onto the buzzers, able to do as much as possible. It immediately falls to Ranker. Overcharge not able to continue to do it. Exactly trying so hard. Romy finding June with the hack, but Apple killing Romy with the melee, and it's going to be a hold from Tokyo with 91 points.
Let it end!
Well, I can't
Please!
say there will be a very, very low percentage chance of a draw.
I...
This
My
is
landlord's
ending.
gonna text me and be like, why are you screaming? And I'm gonna be like...
Initiating match.
This map, I can say, this map will end within the next 2 minutes. Either way. Do you think June on the Echo got the value, as opposed to his Reaper?
No. I don't even know what to say, bro. I just know that I'm tired of 2CP. I'm tired of watching Romy charge off cooldown. I am tired of June playing random mystery heroes.
June playing Mystery Heroes onto the Pharmacy with Ranker also on the Honor. Very smart, actually, because they know Romy's going to be on the Reinhardt. There's not going to be a Winston to dive. Ooh. But the Pharaoh comp is made for slow play, and I don't think they have the time.
This is what I call a yikers moment. When we go this long on Anubis. What is the map time for this crap?
Probably around 25 minutes.
I hate this with all my being, bro.
June has to pull some miracle plays on this Pharaoh, or else it's going to be overcharged, bringing it to a map 5. In the air, they can now see that they're running a Pharaoh. The Diva Matrix not going to be able to destroy all the rockets. Ranker falling half health already, forced to grab the Mega as Overcharge fall back. But now they're playing this room. This is exactly what June wants. He can just pressure in that room. But instead, he's going for the Diva. Yeah, now he sees that they're all just in there. June can get so much damage into them. The Defense Matrix not able to save everyone. As a huge anti finds 4, but they're not capitalizing.
They don't have anything that can push in there. And so, like, they give up a take, they play smart, and now it can punish Apple.
Fighting Potato, Sev only healer, but Ranker falling to Central, Frozen dying as well. Apple coming back, it's back for back June, but able to keep putting damage. Central falling is so much damage, it's just the 2 tanks and 1 support. As the Reinhardt does a miracle charge, doesn't find anything. June just trying to find with the Pharaoh. With the damage boost, Pete killing Zactar, Central switching over to the McCree. This truly is Mystery Heroes as Romy falls, and Tokyo's going to be taking A.
I'm satisfied with the fact that Cammy no draw. I'm not satisfied with the fact that we just watched Afara do that.
But now they have EMP Barrage, and Central switches over to the Echo instead of the McCree.
They can contest June because of the low ceiling here, and Echo is probably better at burning a Winston. But
if it's
I
EMP Barrage, EMP comes out and finds 4. The barrage looking to come in, but it gets hacked! Frozen attacking June, so he's not able to follow up on the EMP. Coalescence coming out from Sev. It's so close. June looking for that EMP as soon as looking for that barrage as soon as possible. He throws it in. He finds Sev, but he gets hacked out of the rest of it. He's forced onto a ground barrier. He can't be helped. But the res does come in, but he doesn't try. Peep finding Roby average with Frozen so close back and forth. The bomb coming out from Zactor doesn't find anything ranked. Go with the Coalescence to keep him alive. Central falling. Hack onto Zactor. Now able to continue. It's just the Lucio on point. 4 for the side of Tokyo in here. Just trying so hard to keep us alive. Romy with the shadow. Romy only hits Peep and he's not able to kill it. EMP comes back up, but it's only him. Central coming back in. He might be able to get this duplicate, but it's so close. He doesn't. He dies with 99. Sev switch over to the Mario Potato. He's not going to be able to build up to that.
It's over!
And it's going to be Tokyo taking the map and ending the series 3-1.
I honestly wanted a map 5, but
I did too. I wanted the map 6.
That makes one of us.
Thank God that torture has ended, bro. Like I love everyone in this server pretty much except Reborn, but like
both Death Blossoms on the head.
But I that was just actually painful to go through. Look at
26 minutes. 26-minute Anubis. That was a 6-5 end. Because they ended up technically capping B. Ending with a 2-1, 3-2, and 6-5. Well, actually, 3-2, 3-2, 6-5. 3-0. Oh yeah, they full held on King's Row. 2-1, 3-0, 3-2, 6-5. A very long series, which could have been longer, but Overcharged weren't able to keep it up. Central though, Frozen trying so hard, hacking the Pharah so he wasn't able to EMP barrage was amazing, but they weren't able to follow up on it. Are we doing an interview?
Can we interview Peep? That's who I would pick anyway.
Yeah, I do think Peep. It would have been Peep or June. Do you want me to go see if they're available? Okay. He is in lobby 1A, second person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hello, Peep. So, Peep, congratulations on the 3 win. What a very long Temple of Anubis.
Thank you.
One thing I definitely have to say for you, because consistently throughout the series, the one outlier was your Samba EMP charge rates. How do you charge your EMPs so quickly?
Just light work for someone at a tier like this. Just focus down the tanks. They don't expect it. They don't expect the fast charge. Hit them with the EMP every fight, and it's just a route from there,
Yeah, you built it just so much faster than Frozen, and I was like, was that just your game plan? Just shoot the tanks, shoot the tank forehead.
It's just a play style, Focus on the front line, play more of a McCree type of style. Get those EMPs for those win conditions, and just wrap it up from there.
100%, I agree.
That's nice. My next question: how did it feel on Anubis to have your EMP canceled?
Oh yeah, I knew it the second I was doing it. I was like, it was not a pretty sign, but it's all right. We brought it back.
It took the replay for me to actually figure out what happened there. But you were able to take it back and win the map, so I guess it didn't really matter.
Yeah, I was hoping to get it off before he came out of Invis, but didn't happen that way. It was all right. Got to shrug it off, keep going.
Yeah, definitely showing the mental fortitude of Tokyo compared to Overcharge. You guys, after taking map 1, where your momentum was interrupted, but you were able to keep going after halftime.
Mm-hmm. Just
Navino, do
something-
you have any more questions?
No, I mean, I think that the big difference maker was how fast you build EMPs, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Really good coordination. I thought Apple and Average did a really good job of enabling you, but like you just built
Mhm.
EMPs so fast.
Yeah, couldn't do it without my team keeping that
Yeah.
pressure off me, so I can build them fast. Et
Yeah,
cetera,
I
et
do
cetera.
have a question for him actually.
In preparation for this match, or was it mid-match for the adaptation of Romi's Reinhardt? Did you know going into the match that Romy was going to play primarily Reinhardt?
I myself was not too familiar. I think some of my team kind of expected it. We've been practicing a lot of the Winston Diva, so we're really comfortable on that. So yeah, we just went with it, adapted to that.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
very good.
I think that's all we have for
right.
you. And I would like to thank everyone at home watching. What an insane series. Tokyo Drifters versus Overcharged. Tokyo Drifters taking it 3-1 in a long-winded series. Thank you everyone for watching the Advanced Division. It was very nice casting with you, Navino.
It was fun. It was a good
Next
match
week.
to watch. Really close. Scoreline doesn't say everything. It was down to the wire.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of maps could go either way. I probably next week I'll be back with Sai, but it was very fun. Everyone, I'm glad we could do this. Peeps, once again, congratulations, Saba. Definitely
you.
topped you. Is there any team in particular that you're looking forward to facing?
Probably Hangzhou Bark.
Did you hear the scoreline of the match?
No, I didn't. What was it?
Hangzhou Bark won 3-1.
Yep, they beat. Yep,
To who?
Powerhouse. It would look
Okay.
really close on both Skyer from when I was watching. Much like you guys, it was a long 2CP match.
Mm-hmm.
But this ended, I think, actually before we even went into Anubis.
Okay.
Either way, though,
Yeah,
I'm excited
either
to
way.
see that match. Good games today, and good
Thank
luck
you.
in the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
I do believe you guys are now taking the number 2 seed right behind Hangzhou Bark. Kingdom Come might have been able to do it. I don't know how well they did. They would have to 3-0.
They lost.
They lost? Okay.
Yes.
So then,
So-
yeah, Tokyo Drifters are the number 2 seed going into week 3.
All right. Well, I think that's it for us.
Yeah, I think that's all we have. Once
Thank
again, thank you for everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.